Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to say it today.
I know you want to,
I'm
though.
not going to. Oh, I wanted to so bad, and I'm not going to say it.
You should just start the show then.
Hi, friends. It's the Brightside with Mikey and Rachel. I'm Rachel.
I am our Mikey.
And this is the podcast where we talk about Lindy Hop, our opinions, and basically whatever else we feel like. Pew, pew, finger guns, pew, pew.
We're going to talk about finger guns now?
I don't know if we're going to talk.
Highly inappropriate.
I don't know if we're going to talk about finger guns, but I just like, I don't know. I started like pointing at you and I had a little finger gun, and then I was like, now I got to do something about it.
There's an old joke that's like, it's like if you just like point at somebody and just smile, it'll make them uncomfortable so much that they just copy exactly what you do. No, I mean, I'm already telling you, so it's not going to happen.
Wait, that's a joke?
Yeah, it's a really like fun like social interaction thing. It's like if you just walk up to somebody that doesn't know you're about to do it, you just smile at them and point at them. They're gonna be so awkward. They're like, what's going on? They're gonna do the exact same thing back to you. It's like the same thing. It's like when you, I used to do this all the time. It's so stupid. I used to come up to people and like say something stupid, and then like put up my hand like a high five. So I'd come up to people and be like, "Hey, your hair looks terrible today," and like do this, and they'd be like so confused and like, without even thinking, just high five that same thing.
No, I remember you doing that to people.
Yeah.
You were stupid.
It was so stupid, but it was so funny because I was like, "Why would you high five that?"
Oh my God, how are you? Hello.
I'm all right. I'm doing much better. I had nothing to do for the past weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was glorious. Let me tell you, I slept so much. And
sounds
it felt
like the dream.
So good.
Sounds like
it was.
the dream.
It's so much so that like I felt like I needed to do something.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do, so I just like stayed in and watched Netflix, watched movies and stuff.
Oh man, that sounds like Paradiso.
Yeah, it was super cool. I watched. I finally watched Get Out.
What did you think?
It was crazy. I mean, I already knew the twist, but like,
okay.
It was crazy. It was crazy to see this type of movie. It was definitely like a artsy movie with people that I knew. You
Very
know what I'm
artsy.
saying? Like usually,
yeah.
Usually like those independent films. Like I'm not saying that's an independent film, even though it kind of is, right? It technically kind. I mean, like it wasn't picked up by a huge
I don't
producing
remember.
company, but
I have no idea.
But the whole idea of it was just really cool because I loved the idea of it like going one way and then switching real hardcore to another.
Oh yeah.
It was really funny because
it was creepy.
Yeah. The guy who plays the dad was in another movie sort of like that, like Cabin in the Woods, where like it looked like it was going one way and it went a totally different way.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really, really crazy.
I didn't see that one.
Bradley Whitford. Yeah, that was his name.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, and I watched that, and then I watched another movie that I think you guys saw, The Big Sick.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, it's so good.
That's a good movie.
Oh, and I cried so hard.
Oh man, I did too.
Oh, it was so good. And then at the end, it's like the real Emily, and I was like, no! I lost it. I was like, no, I can't believe it. Oh, it was so good. I loved
rough.
it.
It was rough.
But it was rough because it felt too real.
Yeah.
And no wonder because obviously it happened to them. So like, that was really cool. And that guy is super funny.
He's very funny. He's very funny.
And he had to like tone it back a little bit to be like a shitty stand-up comedian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
I've heard him on a couple podcasts before, and I'm like, he's hilarious.
He's also on Silicon Valley.
Yeah. And yeah, for sure. I've seen that, and like even he steals the scenes for sure.
Yeah.
Him and the other dude.
He's so funny.
Him and the other dude with the longer hair.
Yeah. Oh, they're so funny together.
Yeah, they're back
so
and forth.
Funny together.
I often think they're just like us.
Like me and you.
Yeah, because I'm the brown guy and you're the long-haired one. Satanist,
but
obviously.
I'm not all like salty and Satan-y like that guy though.
Just sort of.
I can be a little salty sometimes, I suppose, but I'm not like an old salty dog.
No, I was just brown person,
white person. Okay, got it.
It's the Coco and Laffy show.
Coco and Laffy. Ay.
Another thing I got shoes. I got brand new shoes. I got Saint Savoy's for the first time.
Oh, boo.
I know. I don't know what happened to me the last 2 years. I became like a shoe file, and like I started like really like shoes, shoes, shoes. But they're like the sneaker ones, so they don't have a heel, and I don't really like. Yeah, I don't really like having heels anymore.
Yeah.
Like I love the way Stacey Adams look because it's like fucking classic look. You can't
Sleek.
go wrong.
Yeah.
And so these are black like cap toe type things, but like on the bottom they're like really cushioned, and it's like a good like almost like an inch of padding. So it's like they call it a sneaker, and it's not like leather on the bottom. It's something else. It's like a faux thing that like after a while it gets like a little bit smoother, and you can like slide enough.
Suede?
No, not suede. No, definitely not suede. It's like it's something else. It's I don't think it has to do anything with animal actually. I forget what it's called, but yeah, they like the person that's in charge of Saint Savoy. I've blanking on her name. Totally wanted to make a dancing shoe because like we don't really have dancing shoes. We have like pretty looking shoes that are based off of like 1920s, 30s, and 40s like looks.
Yep.
And they're let's be honest, they're not made for the excessive force that we push them through.
They're not made for our tootsies.
Yeah, not even kids, like, to be honest, right? I mean, we wear what we want, and that's cool, whatever. But like these are the pretty closest that we have to like actual dancing shoes that like look good enough to be on the dance floor.
Yeah. That's
so I'm
awesome.
Stoked. Yeah.
Stoked.
And I'm gonna also get like this is it's so bad. I'm also gonna get Pamela's shoes, the boots.
The boots. Wait,
Yeah,
I was trying to look for her boots online and I could not find them.
No, no, you can only I think you can only see them on the. I think there's a Facebook page for it. I think they're called swing shoes, something like that, and they're made to order.
Oh.
So they're not like mass produced. They're like you order them through her, and
then
like,
they are made specifically for you.
Pretty much, yeah. She sends you like this diagram of how to like measure your feet, and like you send it back to them, and it's like the shoe is made for you.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's exactly what I need.
And it's pretty cool.
That's
and like
what I need.
Felipe from Brazil, who lives out here in Europe, he has a couple of like the really light blue ones, like the sky blue ones, and he's got really big like fat feet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, sweet, maybe I can wear them too. So then I tried them on the other day, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, these are like really comfy. They're really comfy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that.
I know, and it's just really cool because they're like not like super tall, high boots, like, but they're not super low like chukkas or like low tops or anything. But like,
yeah.
they just come like right at the perfect angle and or right at the perfect size of your ankle. And I have really like I always feel like I have really fat ankles, like cankles. Yeah, and
them
so
old
like.
Kanks.
And so that always like pushed me away of like wearing high tops or anything like that. So,
That's
but
so funny.
these are pretty cool. Like I really dig them.
That's
So
great.
I'm gonna join the cult of the boot.
Joining the cult. I know.
Yeah,
There's some
yeah.
people who like really hate on that.
Yeah, I know. And
Hate
I'm
on
just
the
like,
boots.
what? You guys are just hating on it because you can't get any. Be cool. Like, who cares?
Be
Who cares
cool,
at the end
boo.
of the
Be
day?
cool.
Yeah, everything comes into style at some point, and then it goes away, and then something is replaced by it.
John Lennon says, "Let it be."
Oh, Jesus Christ. I applaud you on that. That was funny. But it was such a long stretch, and that's why it was so funny.
Oh, it's the gift that keeps on giving, truly. So my coworker and I started this joke where like we say like John Lennon says and then name a Beatles song.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so funny. Oh, it's just
John Lennon is fucking genius. What
John
can you say?
Lennon, the gift that keeps on giving.
Like John Lennon says, just Sgt. Pepper.
John Legend says.
John Lennon. Did I say legend again?
You
Fuck.
did.
God damn it.
John
Whatever.
Lennon. John Lennon.
All right. That's me. What are you up to?
Ooh, I got hired to be in a photo shoot tomorrow.
Oh, are you gonna bring your jacket?
No. I think they're providing the costumes.
Okay. All right.
It's a lifestyle photo shoot for like a smart home product, kind of like a Nest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my first official non-dancing gig.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you
Very
stoked? Are you really excited?
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be great. I started a new class today. It's called Audition Revolution. And they basically help you, like, with auditioning with, like, crazy parts. Because, like, you know, there's so many, like, parts where you go in for an audition and you have to, like, scream or cry or, like, really be vulnerable, emote. Yeah. And that's terrifying. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
That's like one of my biggest fears right now is having to go in and audition for a part where I have to cry and not be able to do it.
And like, do they, is it sort of like, I always feel like in the movies or TV shows, like it's like pretty real. Like they're really the auditioners, the people like judging you basically if you're good enough for a role. Yeah. They're really like harsh about it and they're really dry and they're like give you a note and you have to do it like immediately.
Most of the time people are really nice. Here's the thing is that they want you to succeed. Like they want to hire you for the job. And so sometimes like some people can be kind of assholes. Like the suits are definitely intimidating. Like when you go in for the callback and there's like all the executives in there, that's a little bit more scary. But like the casting director and maybe the client or the person who's like running the camera, those people are usually super, super nice. And so they just want you to succeed and they might give you feedback.
Right.
Like I've never been in an audition where someone has been like, that really sucked. You know, they're like, they'll be like, cool, that was great. Like, let's try it this way for this one take.
I mean, could you imagine though if they really just be like, okay, that sucked, leave now.
Well, I mean, that's how they show it in the movies all the time, you know?
Crush dreams, man.
But here's the thing is that, like, those people want people to want to work with them. Like, if they're assholes to everyone, then no one's going to work with them. Mm-hmm. It's just like any other job. Like, you have to be nice to your clients if you want them to continue coming back to you.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the exact same thing. Like I've talked about before, like the Hollywood nice, where like they really mean it because that means like they connect with you, and that means they'll hire you, or they'll think about you if they need to hire someone like you, or like actor or any part of the industry, right? So it's like it's only to your benefit if you're nice to people, but once you're at the very high, you have to be very opinionated and choosy and pick the right person for the right job.
Totally.
Right? It's like the callbacks. That's what I mean. Yeah.
And I'm doing that. I start another class on tomorrow.
On tomorrow?
On tomorrow. It's like a Meisner study, which is like an acting technique that's very popular. Mm-hmm. And
the Michael Eisner technique,
The Michael Eisner. Otherwise, like things are just things are
the same. Things are good.
Things are good. I'm feeling very motivated right now. So I'm like, I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Good. Do it. Get that fucking hustle, girl.
Yeah. I got the hustle in me. It is real.
It's good.
I mean, real.
It's really good. I was like, I tell you all the time, like, you got to go out there and get it. And it's the same thing in any industry, and it shouldn't be any different in like our world of dancers and professional dancers. Like, if you want something, get good at it as best you can. Yeah. Like you are with your classes, and you're jumping into things, and then go out there and like you have to be a little bit vulnerable, and you have to go out there and you have to like try and make connections and a little bit of networking and like get the right things and just go through a sort of process. But at the same time, like you'll see over time, like it'll get you somewhere.
Yeah, man, I listened to this great TED Talk yesterday about vulnerability. I should post it to the page when we post the episode, because it's like it's so good.
Let's show it to me first, because then maybe we can have a show about it.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, like yes.
Ooh, your eyes got real big, Laffy.
I am really excited about this. I'm really excited. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, that's good. Okay. All right. So hide it from the listeners. Don't show it to them just yet. Don't show it to them just yet. Ooh, you get hot flashes over there.
I got all riled up over here.
Yeah. And I mean, from my point of view out here, like, not to like bring everything down, but like it looks like California is up in flames, which is horrible.
Yeah. I mean, the sky is looking a lot better today here in LA.
Yeah.
There's fires down in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
A lot of people got evacuated. A lot of our friends got evacuated yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know what the update is on that. And then up north, it's like homes are being obliterated. It's
up in
terrifying.
northern San Francisco, or the north part of the Bay.
Yeah, it's really scary.
That's crazy because it seemed like it just happened like a day or two ago, and then it got real big, real fast.
I mean, the
all
thing
the fires that happen out there.
The thing about the fires, especially in California, is that like they're really small and insignificant, and then just like a puff of wind comes through, and just everything catches on fire.
I mean, this is a funny thing. Not that this is absolutely this is not anything to laugh about. People are losing homes. People are losing their lives. But the thing is like the crazy part about it. That's I think the better way to put it. The crazy part about it is that we have a fire season in California. You know, and like and it's such a terrible like way of looking at it, but it's true. Like I remember being in school and like talking about it, but I don't know how it is nowadays, but I feel like it should talk about more, especially in California schools. Like there should be like a like a little course or something to be like, hey, there's stuff happening. Don't play with this. Don't do that. And because at this time of the season, it's really dry out there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm personally very used to it because we had the same thing in New Mexico. We had fire seasons. Right. It was like you are not allowed to have any kind of fireworks really in the state, even though people would still have them.
Right.
You know, you have to be like very careful about how you burn things.
Yeah. So, I mean, so the same thing like in California.
It's the driest part of the year, and it's hot, and the Santa Ana winds are a coming.
Which is the weird thing, because it's a fire season here in like the west coast part of the United States, and then in the Gulf and East, it's in the southern parts. It's hurricane season, so it's always the same time, and that's such a weird thing to put back and forth. What was the other part of it that? I thought it was going to be a little bit less because of like all the awesome rain that we got last winter, because like all the super bloom that happened and all
it's true. But there's so much land out here that has been dry or has not had a fire in so long that it's just ripe to catch flame.
And a lot of those parts that are up in flames right now in Orange County is definitely like those big fields that like I've seen those fields, and I've been like, as an adult, you kind of look at them from the freeway, and you're like, "Oh man, that's gonna
much."
Yeah, that's gonna go up real quick, and you don't want it to, but we know you can see it on the side, and you're like, "Wow, that looks real dry." Like nobody better toss anything out the window.
Yeah,
that's remotely hot. But yeah, so if anybody is affected out there, that's horrible.
Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe. Ask for help. That's I've seen like a ton of outpouring of Lindy Hoppers trying to help other Lindy Hoppers or swing dancers in general. Trying to look for help and offering their help, and that's exactly what we need right now. We need people just stepping up and helping as much as they can. But yeah, so that's it.
So that's the end of the show. See ya, everybody. No. Bye.
Bye.
Just kidding. I would never do that to you guys. I don't know about Mikey, but you're just going to stay silent on that one? Okay. So we're going to move into the topic of the day, which is jams. Jam.
Or as they say here in Spain, the yam.
The yam.
Or if there's feeling extra spicy, the jamon.
El jamon. Really?
No. But
yeah, you're stupid.
It's the J that always gets me, the little soft J.
The soft J.
Hamon.
Hammy.
So like it's just a funny part because I always like they always say the jam, and I'm like, just say it the way you want to say it. Yeah, the jam. You want to go to the jam? The jam. And
so
I'm like, just say it the way you know how to say it. And they're like, Hamon. Let's go eat. But yeah, so today, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's very interesting how like so many other languages have to adapt to English.
Yeah.
You know, and Lindy Hop is such a good example of that because we have all of these terms that are in English that maybe they don't have like an equivalent for in their language, and so they use the English word. We never have to do that except for like tortillas.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm okay with that when it comes to Lindy Hop.
Okay.
You know why? I mean, yes, it's silly. And
I'm okay with that.
Very, yeah.
Mostly because I'm American and I speak English, so.
Actually, I speak American.
I speak real good American.
I speak real good American. Real good.
Real
but no,
good.
I am. And here's the thing. Here's the case. The case is if ballet was originated in France and all the terms are in French, then Lindy Hop or swing dancing being originated in America with its English as its native language, then it's fine. All day long, I teach in Spanish here in Spain, and when it comes to something, then I'm like, okay, I say it in English, and they like a lot of the beginners look at me like, what do you mean? I was like, come on, guys, we're doing the Charleston, and they're like, well, what is Charleston? And I'm like, Charleston, and they're like, oh, Charleston, and I'm like, look, guys, you don't have to understand exactly, just equate the sound that I'm making out of my mouth with the move that we're talking about, and that's all you got to remember.
That's so great.
They're like, swing out. Okay,
swing
out.
out.
Yeah, swing out.
Swing out.
Yeah.
Swing out.
So that's just my little thing about it, but whatever. I mean,
Cute.
Anybody could say it, however way they want to say it. I always kind of be like, well, like we could, even if you have a different name. Oh, okay, sorry, I know we're getting off topic, but this is really funny. We haven't even gone to the topic, but this is always really funny. You know, like your entrance from like closed position, and you like tuck turn, and you go into like a tandem or like a shadow Charleston type thing. What would you call it?
The chase.
The chase, yeah, I've called it the chase for a long time too, or just getting into
it.
Tandem. Yeah, they for some reason, I don't know where exactly. I thought I've asked them, but I don't remember what the answer was. They call it Ryan Run.
Ryan Run?
Yeah, and at first I was like, you mean run? No, they're like, no, Ryan Run. And I was like,
who's Ryan?
Exactly. Like Ryan as in the name.
Like
Ryan Run. Yeah, that's what they
so
say.
Wait, but why?
I forgot why they named it that in some of the Spanish schools.
That's so weird.
Yeah. I feel maybe like it was like Ryan Francois and like he maybe
that's
did
what
it
I
a
was
couple
gonna
times.
say.
And then like they just call it Ryan Run, or I don't know.
That's so funny.
Or maybe they heard Run is somewhere in there,
and
they heard it like Ryan Run. Yeah.
That's really funny.
It's just one of those things because like there's like a person out here that's like a really creative type, and like they're a graphic designer and an illustrator, and they made these like T-shirts that like have like names and like an illustration around it with a lot of the terms that they've learned from Swing Maniacs, and one of them is Ryan Run, and I'm always like. I slowly put my head in my hand and go, oh no, what have we done?
That's so funny.
It is.
Oh
it is.
my gosh.
I mean, you can't. I mean, who cares? At the end of the day, like, fuck.
It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter.
Who cares? I mean, there's some sort of me that was like preservation. Like, what did they call it back in the day? Oh, they just call it like whatever. And then
they called it whatever. They didn't even have names for most of that stuff.
Exactly. It doesn't even matter at the end of the day. Okay, so topic.
So should we move on to the question of the day?
Hey guys, that's it. Thanks for listening.
The end. Okay, but no, seriously, the jam.
So
seriously, no.
So here's why I wanted to make this a topic. Not because of anything recent, but like I've heard actually from Kevin and some of the older dancers from the Bay Area that there was a teacher couple that didn't allow jams to happen, like not even birthday jams.
Really?
Back in the day, like the late 90s, early 2000s, they didn't allow it. It was not allowed at their venues. They said it was very exclusive.
Word.
Yeah, and I'm like sort of, but like I see it a different way. I see it in like almost a I've said this before, and we talked about it like in the stuff that you looked up. I can't remember. I think it was called The Round, where it was like this
The
tribal
ring shout?
aspect. The ring shout, yeah,
Yeah.
where it's like this very like tribal like community thing that people could do to help make them feel better. In essence, like it's sort of like a church. It's sort of like a praise time, like
Yeah.
praise the music or praise the dance, and like really give it up to the dancers and really like give each other on. So while I see their point of it being exclusive, where like only one person or only one couple is allowed to dance in the center at one time, and then everyone else has to clap for them, I was like, well, like no, we're cheering them on just as much as like we would cheer on anybody else, and this is like our time to shine, and like we want to give it up. And just like you said before, like of like going to audition and those people really want you to do well. Like I think like people see a jam and like I can't wait to see what happens in the jam. I really want it to go well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's this kind of like back and forth where dancers go in and they feed their want to be in front of people, or they feed their want to have enough space in a dance. And
Totally,
then other people
totally.
like really clap on and cheer on and give them all the love that they can possibly do.
Totally. I mean, I hear where those people are coming from, because there was a time in Albuquerque where like where jams were like very elitist. It was just like only the best dancers went in there, and it would be very much like a show off moment for them, like very self-indulgent, very look at me. And we combated that by having a mandatory jam at our dance.
Yeah, you know what? That's very similar to us. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, at like every night after we would have our announcements, and then we would play the same song. We'd play Lindy Hopper's Delight, so everybody knew it was time for a jam, and we would go in there, and none of the advanced dancers would dance with each other. We like maybe would go in once with someone, but then we would take in beginners, and we would always like very much encourage everyone to go in.
Right,
so that way it was more of a community moment, as opposed to like, look at how awesome I am. I can swing out.
Yeah. But I think I mean, yeah, it's definitely very self-indulgent, but like I feel like it's like a practice on for people to like get in there and like try out something and not have the pressures of like on a contest. It's still like a challenge for them, and maybe sort of like a challenge for other people. And we were talking about this before we got on here, but like, and we're gonna differ on opinions on this, but that's the thing about it. But one thing I do agree, and I didn't know you guys did that, is that's how I learned to do jams as well.
Oh, really?
Like like my teacher Debbie stopped the Sunday night dances. Imagine like a room like 2/3, maybe actually about the size of Atomic, like the dance floor, right? And she stopped the music and like turned on one of part of the lights and was like, "Hey everybody, like welcome to the blah 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 blah, and like now we're gonna have a jam, and a jam is this," and like talk to people. And then she would go around beforehand and be like, "Hey, we're gonna have the jam in like 2 songs. Like, can you guys go in it? Okay." And then she'd go out to like a couple other couples and like make sure that somebody was gonna go in it. And I was a kid, and I was like, for a long time, I was like, no. And she always asked me, and then like one day, I was like, maybe like a year into it, I was like, okay, I'll go into it. But the funny thing was, it was like, so part of the room, like one half of the room, the lights would be on, and then the other part it wouldn't be on. But then everyone would just like sit around on the chairs on the edges of like on like the dance floor wall area, not like be close. So like you had to get from like one end into the center, and it was always like really a difficult challenge.
So far.
And me and my friends would just be like, well, like, what do we do? It's like, we like kick step in. And like none of us ever thought to like, let's swing out all the way in.
That's so
like,
funny.
We were like, let's kick step all the way in, or like let's
that's such a Southern California thing to do too.
Exactly, like kick step all the way in, like in partnered position, and then like and another one was like, let's send out and then like slide in, like be really fun. Yeah. It was such a funny thing because like we were kids. We were kids. We didn't even know, honestly. We didn't even know the bigger scene.
Yeah.
Like we would hear from like my brother and his friends. We'd hear that there was other things happening around Southern California and other like styles of dance.
Yeah.
But like we were just like kids. We were like 10 to 13 years old, 10 to 14 maybe. And
oh
like
my
we're
God.
just like, okay, we're gonna do this. Yay, okay. We know
That's
what
so
we're doing,
funny.
Okay. Yeah. So, but that's actually a really good way to get people sort of initiated into the whole idea, and like get them clapping and like talk about the etiquette, which is like basically like you make eye contact. Oh, you gonna go? Oh, you're gonna go? Or like come a little closer and like get everybody clapping. If you're in the front, like get down a little bit low so other people behind you can see, like stuff like that. You know?
I don't remember the first time I ever went into a jam. I mean, it was definitely in Albuquerque, and I feel like it was at our Tuesday night rockabilly dance, because there were jams that would happen at that dance. But I was always so intimidated by the dancers who were going in there, and they were like not friendly at all. You know, I mean, they probably didn't know who I was either, but.
Yeah, and I think that's like part of it though. Like when you go into like the bigger world of it, where it's like less controlled, like a place like you did it at for you guys at Rhythm, and for like where I learned when I was a kid. Like I think that's like the next level up, you know, like where it's like if you're not ready for it, don't go in. But like there is a role for you if you're not ready. Like you could just stand on the edges and clap and cheer on everybody else.
Totally.
You know, like
totally.
And not just you, like I'm talking to like everybody else now in general. Like if you ever felt that like, no, I'm not good enough, it's like that's fine. Like you can still contribute into the whole idea of a jam just by cheering people on and watching.
Yeah. See though, I like to take a step further and be like there is no good enough or not good enough to go into the jam. Like, you're going into the jam because we're celebrating the dance, and like, you don't have to know all the steps to be able to contribute to celebrating the dance with everybody.
I completely agree. Like we often go back for us, like especially Americans, we go back to like Lindy Focus, where there's like 3 or 4 jams in the main room every night. So that's like 5 nights, right? And it could get annoying for sure. But like I'm saying, like. I'm like, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. There's like other spots at the dance floor. Like this past weekend, like there was a jam, and I was like dancing with someone I really want to dance with, and I was like, it was my only night of dancing because my leg was still bothering me, and I was like, hey, do you mind if we don't go into the jam? And they're like, she's like, yeah, that's cool. And I was like, great, because all I want to do is like jam out, but not in the jam.
Not in the jam, but
adjacent,
jam adjacent.
A jam adjacent. There you go. Yeah,
jam adjacent.
Yeah, but you're totally right. And so like in Lindy Focus, like sometimes a couple will go out there and like they're not the best, but I'm like, that's awesome. That's so cool. I'm all about it. And I'm just like, for me personally, I'm over being like I want to see the best stuff. I just want to see somebody go out there now. Like my bar is very low of like how happy I get about a jam.
I mean that's the thing too, is I don't need to see really impressive stuff.
It's fun.
But yeah, of course it's fun. But what I want to see is like spirit.
Yeah.
That like here this is something that I've been thinking a lot about recently. And like fancy moves don't really do it for me if there's no spirit behind it. Like you could have like the prettiest technique or the nicest swivels or like the coolest double backflip in the world, but if your heart isn't into that double backflip, then I don't care about it because it's not interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, totally, for sure.
And so like it's so much more interesting to watch a beginner who's like killing it than a really advanced dancer who's like, yeah, I am all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, like especially when we talk about like a less experienced dancer going into a jam, like especially at a place like Lindy Focus, that could be like the thing that just goes like, oh my gosh, like the next couple like weeks or maybe a couple months, like they're going like, yeah, I did this, I went in the jam at Lindy Focus, I was so afraid, but like it was so much fun, you know, like that's the community building, and that's like on top of that, like it's like not even 30 seconds most of the time that people are into a jam.
Oh yeah. No
and
way.
It's like totally cool to see people like live like an entire life within 30 seconds in that jam, you know, from like birth to like death at in a jam. It's so cool. The first
time I went into a jam at a major event, it was probably like 15 or 20 seconds at the most. It was the longest 15 to 20 seconds of my life.
Yeah.
It was so long, and there were cameras flashing. And the flash was so bright that I physically couldn't see anyone, including my partner. And so I was just I was just like dancing in bright white and like feeling confused, but also like feeling terrified, but also like really feeling the music.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely can identify with that.
It was complex.
it was a lot of emotions.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
I'm in a glass case of emotions.
Whew, it was. But you know what? Like, those moments are also like that's a moment that I'm gonna probably remember for the rest of my life.
You know why? It's like, I feel like it's trial by fire. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you said it. You said it before we hopped on here that like you kind of like got ready for it and everything. But yeah, it's not like getting ready for a contest or anything. Like, you're getting ready for a contest is like a specific goal, time and place, and you know what's gonna happen. But when a jam happens, like it's very what's the word I'm looking for? Spontaneous. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's very spontaneous, and so like when it happens, you got to be ready, and you jump in there, and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah, I mean, it's very exhilarating.
Yeah, and I think again, like if there's other ways to participate in a jam, and this is where like I differ from those people that in the Bay Area that a long time ago it was like no jams. I was like, look, there's so much more to do. Like, I don't know, for a while, like I was so not against it, but I was against myself going into a jam for like a long time. One part because my confidence wasn't very high, and that was in the past like maybe 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, whatever. And it was in part because my confidence wasn't very high, but another part was also like I want to see who's doing what out there, like in not in the bright lights of like a contest atmosphere where they have their 16/8 ready to go. Like, here's like, this is where the dance will push itself. Like, for sure, it'll push itself in the YouTube areas of contests and like sort of that stuff. But like, this is where I learned to cut my teeth. This is where I learned to throw myself onto the floor after jumping off of somebody. You know, like you know, like there used to be this kind of this rawness to it where like who knows, anything can happen. So I really want to see where things go, and I think the jam is like one of the best places to see that happen.
Yeah.
Mind you, not every jam in the world is going to be like that, but I feel like it's very specific ones. Like sometimes ILHC, most of the time like Lindy Focus, most of the time Camp Hollywood, stuff like that.
I mean, there are very, very few jams here in Southern California. I mean,
of course.
I might see one jam a year, like not including birthday jams.
Yeah, of course.
But like an actual jam breakout, I might see one a year, maybe.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where like it's like the saturation of them at big dances, at big festivals and weekends, I think is overshadowing it, where like maybe there's not that many. Like, this is a good question for all of our listeners out there. Like, hit us up on the Facebook page and see like when's the last time or how many jams do you guys have in your local scenes and your local dances, where it's just like group of you guys wherever you guys are in the world. Let us know, because we're really curious about that, because like I don't really know where it happens just spontaneously like that, other than like a birthday jam that's planned. But I do see them happen a lot at events that I go to, like at least for sure once a night.
Yeah, I mean, now before I opened Rhythm, I would say that jams happened pretty regularly in Albuquerque, and they were spontaneous and organic, but they were also like elitist.
Yeah.
Now, and the ones that we had at Rhythm were almost always planned with the exact same songs every week, but they were very inclusive. So, I wonder what most scenes are doing out there, and like how they go down.
Yeah, historically, for our dance, from what I've heard, this kind of goes along with our last episode about the Cat's Corner. Like, the Cat's Corner was also very driven like that, where it was already about exclusivity.
Yeah.
And the reason why they actually did it that way is so they could clear out enough room where they could always jam.
Yeah.
And much like the Spirit Moves. So like the Spirit Moves is like a bigger version. If you see like the footage of Inside the Savoy, where they're just like going off and they're Al and Leon are like just dominating all the time, or that's how they cut it. The reason they did that is because Mira Den had already seen it happen in the Cat's Corner, and they would be like, okay, this is gonna happen, so let's film it, let's make it a little bit bigger and put a light on it, you know. So like the reason why the dancers would say they would do it is because it would get so crowded They couldn't dance the way they wanted to dance. So they made enough room and kind of blocked it off. So like that's again, like that's where like it has its roots in that kind of exclusivity, but I feel like we can grow out of that and have it be like this really cool inclusive thing.
Yeah. That brings up a really good question, which we don't have to go into today because it'll just dive us into a whole other topic. But I feel like when we talk about like how Lindy Hop was back in the day, there is so much exclusivity to it.
Oh, sure.
It's built on exclusivity.
For sure.
But if that's the case, then like I like why do we so heavily value community? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Not that I'm saying that community is bad, but just based on like I don't know.
Well, first off, the history of it is heavily based in exclusivity, but we have to see where the information comes from.
Yeah.
The information comes from the top dancers back in the day, the people that won shit all the time.
That's true.
So like their point of view is very different. It's like that's the difference between me and you. Like you often tell me, it's like my point of view is a bit different than your point of view, or like anybody else's as well. So like I have to take it. Oh, okay, that's true. So for us, we have to take it with a grain of salt and also just be it like, okay, that's how it kind of was. And I'm not going to say that's how it always was, but at least it's in part a vision of what it was in the back. And now how do we include that without being, not without being, but how do we include that and make it more better for building a community around it? Because I still feel like community was a big sense of it back then. Like I even in the sense of like all the dancers that we cherish in our Lindy Hop scene, them being the tops, man, the fucking amazing dancers traveling the world at such a young age and setting the bar or starting the pathway for all of us that are doing this internationally and professionally. They had such a view about it that like is great, but also they do talk about like, well, there was this other like thing going on where they're like everyone was dancing, everyone at the Savoy, like everyone was welcome. It was definitely majority African Americans, but like everyone was welcome. How much of that is actually true? We have to take that with a grain of salt. But like the idea of that we can come together no matter race, color, creed, and have a binding idea of like let's just dance together really well.
Yeah.
And like I think that lends itself to community.
Yeah. For sure. I like that.
So I think that's like for me, like that's where like the two converge, where like so there's this exclusivity thing about like having a jam in a Cat's Corner, and there's like inclusivity thing of like everyone's welcome. So like let's just combine the whole thing. Yeah. And I feel like we're not disrespecting the past, we're understanding it, but then evolving it for ourselves because we live in the now.
Totally.
Where our lives are a lot different from their lives back then.
Totally.
Yeah.
What was the last time you went into a jam?
Oh man, let's see. It had to be recently. I can't remember. Let's see. Man, I mean, shit, I can't remember. I'm like going back to like every event. So like the past month, obviously not because I haven't been dancing. Let's see, what happened before then? That was Chase. No, what happened before then? Oh my God, Lithuania? No, Rome? No, Napoli? No. Wow, I can't even remember.
Good for the podcast.
I know. Silence is always good for a podcast.
Silence is great for the podcast. Woo!
So I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. Oh, you know what? Honestly?
What?
I swear to God, I think the last time I went to a jam was with you at Lindy Focus.
That is so funny because that was the last time that I went into a jam.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go.
Should we have a cute little internet high five?
Exactly.
I mean, like,
I'm pretty sure, like, because I think, like, after that, like, definitely didn't do a jam at Cowbell, and then, like, Inspiration Weekend.
I mean, I have to say that I I have not gone into many jams in the past 3 years or so, because I haven't been feeling very good about my dancing, and I also have been having this feeling of like people don't want to dance with me, like no.
Yeah.
Like people don't think I'm good enough to dance with them, so they don't want to ask me into a jam.
Yeah.
Because there's like always someone more enticing standing right next to me that they'd rather dance with, and so why on earth would they ever ask me to dance when they can ask this more enticing dancer?
Yeah.
I don't like. That's probably like very much in my own head, all that stuff going on. But I mean, it's like what you said, you know, like just not feeling good about my dancing, and so I just haven't gone in very much.
Right. And it's definitely one of those things. Like again, it's what's helped me. It's definitely one of those things where it's like it could be very scary and very intimidating. But but I try not to shy away from it. So one part of it is like, okay, I don't feel confident enough to go in there, but I'm gonna clap on and I'm gonna like cheer and I'm gonna go for it. Then the other part of it is this helps me a lot of the times. If I want to go into jams, like don't think, just go. Ask someone, go. Ask someone, go. Ask someone, go. You know? That's it.
Yeah, for sure. That is something.
I think the thing is too. You know the thing is too. Like I really have been wanting to social dance more, like this past year, like in general, like I've been really wanting to push myself to like go do that, because even with whatever experience that I have, like I have moments where I really doubt and have less confidence, and I don't know where it comes from. Maybe it's just a general pressure that I put on myself. And like I lose the confidence, and like one of the things is, and I've told you this before, and I probably said it on the podcast, where like I don't ask people. Like the act of asking a person, like sort of terrifies me. And I know that sounds completely silly and so dumb on so many levels, but the same thing is like, it's like I have to tell myself, like, don't think, just ask somebody and go out and dance for one song. You may be surprised, and then ask them to dance again, and you'll be fine. And then like it just snowballs into this like huge thing where I'm like, oh fuck, I've been dancing for 2 hours straight.
I think you should challenge yourself to ask every single person you dance with in a night to dance.
No, that's impossible.
You should. That's not impossible. You should do that. It would be so good for you.
But it's impossible because literally, like, okay, so World Jam last weekend, 2 weekends ago, I didn't dance at all Friday night, but I was around, and then I chose Saturday night, and I was like, that was gonna be my night to like really dance, and I took like my sneakers, so I wasn't like worrying about slipping or worrying about anything else. I can control myself as much as I could, right? My stickies, basically, right?
My sticky shoes. My sticky shoes. My sticky shoes.
Okay, so the thing is with that, as soon as I said it, I was like, oh no, I feel like I just triggered her. Is she gonna go? There she goes! I swear to God, I was like, oh my God.
Shoes. My sticky shoes. Why you stick on me, baby? My cat just meowed after I finished that. Like,
yeah, because
can
you got
stop?
so high. You got so high with the note. You got.
Please stop doing that.
So I'm dancing with my sticky shoes. You crazy person. I'm dancing with my sticky shoes, and I swear to God, everyone. I just started dancing. I was like, I'm done with my things I have to do. Started dancing, and I swear to God, everyone came up to me. Like I asked one person to dance, and after that, everybody asked me to dance, and they all said the same thing. They're like, "Oh, I thought you weren't dancing," and I was like, "Oh no, I'm dancing now. I was busy before." Every single person, I was like, "Whoa, that's so weird." Like it's like they were paying attention. I was like,
"Well, yeah. Well, that's because they are paying attention."
That's so crazy, and like that's
you
what I
know
mean.
that
It's like
that's what people do, right?
That's they pay for attention.
No, they are paying attention.
Yeah,
they're paying attention to you as an instructor. They're like, is he gonna dance? Because I'm dying to dance with him, the instructor, so I can get better. I
wasn't teaching that weekend. I'm not an instructor.
Yeah, but you're still an instructor.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like it's sort of like as soon as I ask it, just kind of goes, and like it gets hard for
Well-
me to ask the people I actually want to dance with, and I don't mind. I really am flattered, and I really fucking love it, and it's really cool, and like I can just be like turn people down and then like walk away for a little bit and then come back and then like get into it again, which is super super fun. But you're right, like it's like a challenge to like go up and ask the people that I want to ask, and sometimes like honestly, like people that I teach with on a weekend sometimes are the hardest for me to dance with.
Really?
Yeah. And I want to dance with them the most, and that's probably why. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to ask them to dance.
You're totally right. I try to challenge myself too, and it's like as I talk about it, like I sound like I sound so dumb. Like I'm like, oh, I know it. I already know. Like in my head, I'm like, that sounds dumb. Like you know what to do.
I
Like,
mean, we all
just
have
do
our
it.
demons, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And it's just one of those things that's always like sort of haunted me, and I just like everybody else, I feel like it's just a little bit of fear of rejection. Like, what if I ask and then they go no? And I'm like, I want to run away. Yeah.
I mean, I think
it's totally.
I have like the same thing with jams. Like, I don't want to ask someone to go into a jam because I don't want them to be like, oh, actually, I want to go in with that amazing follow over there. Why would I ever want to go in and have my face shown with you? Are you serious? That's what I like imagine everyone saying to me when I think about asking them to go into the jam. They're like, "Are you kidding me?"
Who are these like snotty people you hang out with apparently, or like that you're dancing with?
I don't know.
Are they all leaders, or are they all like a little bit of both? A little bit of leaders and followers, just kind of like you hear things.
What do you mean, like? Because
like
when I'm imagining these people.
Yeah, when you imagine these people, and then you've also talked about like elitist people that are like, oh, I'm gonna go in there and like fucking tear up this jam. I'm gonna win the jam.
I mean,
have you literally heard people talk about that, or like tell you about that?
No. I've never heard anybody like physically say it. It's like the vibe that I feel off of like what's going on.
Right.
It's all of me like reading the room.
Right. Okay.
So it could be wildly inaccurate, or it could be spot on. You know.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, I project that kind of stuff on like even my friends. Like I've danced with like Carl Nelson in a few contests now, but then like when it's time to go into a jam, I'm like, oh, there's no way he'll ever want to go into a jam with me. I'm not good enough for him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'll like just have competed with him, and I'll be like, I can't do it.
Oh yeah, totally. Every time. And you know what's funny is that like with talking about all this stuff and like talking about social dancing in general, like asking somebody is like that's like a big step. Like I feel like a lot of generations now, like the generation like slightly behind us in general, like as a group, not like dancers themselves, they like blow past the idea of like asking someone out for a date. Because the act of it itself is so terrifying that the workaround is just be like, okay, we're gonna go do this thing, and then now we're dating. You know, like it's like the same thing. It's like if you just go up to a person and be like, hey, like you just start bopping with them, and then you like reach out your hand, and you're like, cool. Like you've totally dismissed the whole act that is so terrifying, and just moved on to the thing that you're like you're really good at. Yes. Is you're like, okay, cool. Whew, I can interact with this person and communicate with them on a better level now that fucking thing is out of the way.
I mean, I will say that confidence is something I've really been working on this year a lot. Yeah. And I like it's taken me a really long time to finally understand where my strengths are. And I'm like just now starting to discover that stuff. Like I found like one strength that I have.
If it's one thing I'm good at, I'm really good.
Thing. Like,
I'm really good at peeling clementines.
Okay, I've decided my strength. This is gonna sound so stupid to everyone out there. I'm like getting really embarrassed. I've decided.
I'm embarrassed for you.
You should be. I've decided that my strength is my personality. Like I have a good person. Like I'm charismatic and I'm funny and I'm pretty intelligent. Ish. And like I'm good with like talking to strangers. Like,
Yes.
I'm very charming, and so
You're the most charming person in the room.
I'm the most charming person in the room. And so like that is something that I've been like really, really focusing on. Like I have these goals of like making every single person my friend ever.
Yeah.
Like every stranger is now my friend because I know that I can charm someone if I really want to.
Yeah.
And I like, I guess the point of that is that like finding that strength and harnessing it has given me so much more confidence than what I had before, because now I have this thing that
You have something to hold on to.
Like I am good at this.
Yeah. Like the confidence is so great in that field where it's like it almost feels tangible and you can like hold it in your hand.
Yeah, and it's easy to like carry that confidence into other aspects of my life. Like when I go in for an audition and I'm like standing in a room full of models who are all 5'10" and like thin and like long gorgeous hair, and I'm like this like short stumpy girl with short hair who's like a fucking goofball. Do you know what I mean? Like it's intimidating being in a room full of like beautiful women, and I'm like, I am not nearly as beautiful as these women.
I would just love you to walk into a room like that next time you're like on audition and be looking around and be like, look at these putzes, look over here. I bet it took you 2 hours. I just drove here.
Who asked these assholes to come in? Am I right? Like, okay.
Hey, just let all of you know in this room, you are going to suck at this. I'm going to get the part, so you should just leave now.
Who on earth brought you in here? I am shocked.
You should all go home now.
My goodness.
They're not looking for a blonde, obviously.
Ooh, let me tell you, hair down to your waist, they are not looking for that. I can guarantee it.
Lovable goofball.
Oh.
For the win. So yeah, like there's a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen in these jams. Like it could be anything from like self-indulgence to like conquering your fears. And I feel like jams are like a great thing because it's not like a contest where like you have to be out there for 16/8, and if you fuck up right at the beginning or you fuck up in the middle, you still have to finish those out. You can't just like walk out like you're in front of everybody. But like in a jam, like you go like, I'm in there, 2 swing outs, I'm out. I did it. I did it, everybody.
John Lennon says, all you need is love.
Works every time.
It works. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
From the grave, Lennon is still prophesizing to us. I mean, it's so true. It's so true. I think in general, like in closing, for me at least, the jam can be so many different things, so many different people. But I think if we use it for these senses of like conquering goals and like going in there and some level like kind of showing off for your friends, or at some level if you're not ready to go in, like you can cheer on other people that might feel like you and like they're going in for the first time, so give them like a really good excitement like cheer when you see them. It can be very, very good, and I think not that I think it's overlooked, but I'm just saying in general, like when it does happen, like maybe you might have a different mindset about it and look at it a different way.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, I feel like you learn a lot about yourself when you force yourself to be put on the spot like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you need to be a great dancer or even a good dancer or like even a mediocre dancer to go into a jam and still be celebrated. Like,
oh, for sure.
If you want to go in and you can't even do a swing out, but you can like, do
a couple tuck turns.
Do this thing. Like, what is this thing called? What is this move?
The Cabbage Patch.
The Cabbage Patch? Like, if that's all you can do, like, go in there and people are still going to cheer for you. You know what I mean?
Go in there and do a Cabbage Patch. Yeah, for sure.
All you need is
love. I mean, that's like the other thing too. That's I feel like a little bit more in the past couple of years, like that is very similar, like Spirit Moves type jams, where it's like it's not just like for partnered dancers anymore. Like there's a lot of solo dancers that go in there and then like sometimes like they face off like 2 solo dancers just go at it. Like I'm like, That's so cool. Like there's an
Ooh.
energy there. There's like a passion there.
There is a wild clip from the Savoy. I think it's Almonds. He's dancing in this like little white diaper looking thing. And that's it.
That's the blues. That's the blues dance. Yeah. In Spirit
Oh.
Moves.
And it's wild. And he's like, it's very like very interpretive contemporary type dancing. It's not like when I watched it, I was like, this is not Lindy Hop at all. But it was so moving.
But the thing is,
okay, first of all, that body, am I right?
Yeah. I mean, since we were
Hello,
kids,
Al.
since we were kids watching that for the first time, we were always like, oh my god, I can't believe like he did that, and then it became like, oh my god, it's awesome. I was like, and then it became, oh my god, I want to be in a diaper. I need to do that.
I want to be in a diaper.
I want to be in a diaper and do that on stage.
Or
and,
like
and it was. But
go.
the thing with that is in general, like he's trying to find the bridge of like African dances to African American dances at the time.
Yes.
So it's like he's trying to bridge that gap while at the same time being interpretive, and that through jazz dance and through the ideas that are portrayed in jazz music, you can emote in so many different ways as opposed to just the celebration, huge, big arms, big legs, and dancing and kicking.
That other part in the Spirit Moves where I don't remember her name. This woman is like, she's doing a blues dance and she just like gets on the floor and she's just like writhing on the floor.
Yeah, that's the girl they called the Boogie Woogie Queen.
Whew.
She was known to
It was
she was known to be like the one woman, not the one woman, but at least like one of the best solo dancers. Like she would just do it like the Boogie Queen, because like they didn't call it like solo dancing, they would call it boogieing. By yourself. Yeah.
Oh,
and so
man.
she would just do that. And she would, I'm blanking on her name too, and I'm sure someone will probably tell us in the comments, hopefully.
They'll be like, duh. You guys are idiots.
Yeah, she was definitely known, and there was, there's clips of her, you can find it online. I think Sonny Allen put it up, and of the, like, it's quote unquote, the Whitey's reunion in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it has like Al Mintz and Frankie and Billy Ricker and Norma and Sugar and I think Willa Mae. I'm pretty sure Willa Mae and Sonny and a couple other people, and that lady, the Boogie Woogie Queen, she was in there as well. Like they were all dancing together in a dance studio, and so it's just one of those things. It's like she was well known as well, and it's so great that we have these clips like the Spirit Moves, so we can be like, oh my god, there was this one thing, like exactly what you're going through, like, oh my god, there's this crazy clip. But
man, yeah, she was.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I know her name; it's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember it. Anyways, so yeah, let's move on to the question of the day.
The question of the day comes from It comes from Regina Falange. I'm just kidding, you guys. Regina Falange.
You couldn't even go through it. I was waiting for you to go through the whole thing, and then no.
I'm just kidding. The question
is. You can't lie.
I can't lie. I'm a terrible liar. The question is from me. I created the question. Okay, I admit it. It's from me. I'm sorry.
Good old Rachel Dahlenburg.
Good old Rachel.
Rachel Laffy.
Ratchy's in the housey. Okay,
Laffy's in the housey.
we were going through our questions, and like you guys have a lot of good questions, but a lot of them we want to use as topics, or they're like really complicated questions that we want to like have guests on for,
or time to think about them, and then research
more time
a little
to think
bit.
about. So we haven't forgotten about your questions. We were just putting a pin in them because they're so good that we don't want to use them as a simple throwaway question.
Exactly.
Not that other questions are throwaway questions. I'm just saying that they're just very good questions. You guys are so smart.
Okay, so let's just throw away this question. Go ahead and read it.
Okay, so here's my question. And this is like I was thinking about this question earlier today just as like I don't know, this has just been on my mind a lot because of where I'm living right now.
Rachel.
Yes.
Rachel, say the damn question.
Can Lindy Hop help you in times of crises?
See, that's as soon as Rachel said that. As soon as you said that, Rachel, I was like, yes, we should definitely talk like that.
In any kind of sense, because like the shooting in Las Vegas and the fires in California, like there's just a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah, and there's
And,
lots
like,
of stuff put in the forefront of our brains that are like
everything
pushed on
that,
us, even if we don't
everything
want
that's
to
going on in
think
Puerto
about it.
Rico, everything with like the DACA thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's just like there's a lot of really serious things going on. Oh, the earthquake in Mexico City.
Yeah,
Um,
the unrest in Barcelona, in
Yeah.
Catalonia.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and like I am legitimately curious as to like how everyone who's living in these cities are dealing with such intense crises. Like, are you going out dancing? Are you like, does that help you? Are you staying away from dancing because you're focused on other things? Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
and this is a really good thing in general. Like, yeah, there is a lot of things to happen, and I said it before. Like, as soon as Trump got elected, I was like, this is gonna be the best time to be a Lindy Hopper,
Yeah.
because it gives us a avenue to, not always, but like it can be a good avenue to like put in a lot of excess energy or stress, and you could like focus on something that doesn't have to be so out in the open. It's like one of the best times where we can revel in the fact that Lindy Hop and swing dancing culture that we grow up on is not in the mainstream, and it
Yeah.
can be so personal, and it can be so individualized that no one can take that away from you. And it, for me, and from hearing all the things and reading the things that I've read about when it started, the swing dancing and Lindy Hop in general, it has very very similar aspects and very similar emotions to why it happens. That's why I call it like a little more of a rebellion as opposed to as an escapism. It's not necessary. It can be an escapism, but I feel like it's more of a rebellious thing because it's like I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it, and it's an independent thing. It's the way I feel in this moment
Yeah,
with this
yeah.
person, and I can communicate with them without having to like get into a fight, but I can communicate them very clearly because I believe in what I'm doing, and when it happens, it's glorious. Stuff like that.
I mean, and it doesn't even have to be like a major world crisis. It could be something as, as simple as losing a job or ending a relationship or
Yeah.
dealing with a difficult mental time in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you has it helped you through crises?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think for me personally, like I think definitely for me personally, like going through living my life through the Lindy Hop community has like elevated the want and need to have it a part of my life. Like it's not all of me. It's definitely like an arm or a limb in general, where it's like if I didn't have it in my life, I would be very handicapped.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel very very whole. So like it's been very important to me. So it's definitely a refuge. It's definitely an excitement. It's definitely a stress reliever. It's definitely a way for me to get emotions out, even if I can't like very much emote them or physically talk about them. But at least I can like push myself to dance because I know, like you said before, like I know I'm good at this thing and I know it's kind of tangible, so I can hold on to it, and I can have a good feeling moving forward through it. And I think for a lot of people, even as a beginner or as a newcomer or as a less experienced dancer or a new experienced dancer in general, like you can use that same thing, like and I think that's one of the best things about our Lindy Hop scene, and maybe it's just like my optimistic point of view. There's a lot of people that are ready and willing to like just hear you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just like if you need to talk about things, that's cool. Like there's probably a person that's already gone through that as well.
Totally.
But where do you come at with a lot of this, because you had a question, so like I feel like you've been using it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I mean, like, I was in an abusive relationship several years, I mean, like many years ago now.
Right.
And it ended, and it was really hard to get through the ending of the relationship and like cut ties and get away from this person.
Mm-hmm.
And gosh, now I wonder, like, I don't even know what I would have done if I didn't have Lindy Hop, because like I wasn't eating, I wasn't going to class. I was in college at that point. I wasn't going to my classes. I was just like laying in bed all day long. I was a zombie. And it was to the point where like my friends would call me and be like, "Okay, get dressed because we're coming in 15 minutes and you're going to go to the dance. Have you eaten food yet? We're bringing you a sandwich."
Right.
It was really hard. And I'm not sure what I would have done. Like, and there was even like a few weeks where I would go to the dance and I wouldn't dance. I would just sit there.
Right.
Or like my friends would drag me to go hang out with them. It'd be like a group of friends. And I would like sit in the corner. I'd like be there physically, but I wasn't really there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I ate like only ice cream for like 3 weeks. It was not good. But yeah, I mean, just like physically being at the dance and watching people dance and like watching other people find joy through the music and through the movement was like just enough to keep me like to be willing to come back.
Going.
To keep going. To keep going.
Yeah.
It was like just enough energy to get me through another day.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is like I just watched during my weekend of doing nothing. I watched from a suggestion from a friend. I watched the Lady Gaga.
Oh yes, I just watched that too.
It's beautiful. First
Wow.
off, like I already knew she was incredibly talented.
She's a force to be reckoned with.
The way they put that all together in that point of her life where she's coming out with her album Joanne, the meaning behind it, dealing with chronic illness, dealing with making the record, and dealing with how she treats her fans and how she wants to be perceived and understands them, and then like dealing with performances and dealing with the Super Bowl and dealing with confidence issues of whether she's good enough, whether she's off her mark, as they say, like, you know, she's like not even relevant anymore or like anything, but like she's out there making art and being creative, and then just seeing the vulnerability in general, like it really inspired me to be like, okay, I'm gonna be more open about the things like this, like how has it helped me, or like being like I have confidence issues as well, and like that's why sometimes I don't go into jams, or like sometimes that's why I don't ask somebody to dance.
Yeah, me too.
So like it's like a really good thing and a good reminder, as long as we keep talking about it out loud. And that's what Lindy Hop can do. Like in this community, through this dance, we can meet people and be very open and willing to communicate, if you're willing to communicate, because we've learned how to communicate without using our words.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's again that tangible thing that like we can hold on to and then like pull ourselves up to the next level, which is like, okay, maybe I can talk about this out loud.
I mean, I will say that like that exactly was essential for me, because like I didn't want to talk about my relationship. You know what I mean? Like and at the time, like I thought everything had been my fault and that like I was being a bad person, and that like that's like looking back on the relationship now, like that guy is an asshole. He was a terrible, terrible person. And like I was a victim of something, you know what I mean? But like I didn't see it at the time. And a lot of people were asking me about it because they wanted to make sure I was okay, which I like appreciated that they cared about me, but I didn't want to say anything. But being able to dance and like still connect with people in that way was really helpful.
I mean, I feel like I hear it all the time in a lot of different places, mostly local scenes, where people come to dance scene because they just got out of a relationship, or they just got out of a divorce, or they just got whatever tragic happened to them. They come and find this dance, and they get revitalized through of life, or reinvigorated to push themselves to go. You know, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, or there is, you know, life after this crisis.
Yeah.
And so like it's very good because I feel like everybody in Lindy Hop scene has something, because like we're all human beings and we all have something that happened to us, and we can not commiserate together, but we can help each other by talking about it out loud and being like, you had this, I had this, now we're going to lift each other up.
Yeah. It's such a good time to be an artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
absolutely. I definitely agree.
Like when everything else sucks, you can always turn to art.
Yeah, and that's, you know, like that's a whole nother like thing in general, like kind of side note. I feel like there's a really big decision that's going to happen for a lot of people that are trying to be or already professionals in the dance scene that we are right now. And it's going to have to come down to like, what do they want to do? Do they want to just teach, or do they want to create?
Yeah,
and it's not one or the other, but like you have to figure out which one means more to you. And one way or the other is not bad or better, because one way will mean more to you than the other, and like that's how you continue your way, not forever, but like at least you continue your way for the next goal in your life. And I feel like there's a lot of big struggle with people right now and going like, I'm not making it, like I need help, or I need this. It's like, what does making it mean to you? What do you want? What's the first goal? It's like, I want to teach here. Great. So you want to be a teacher. So it's like, but then I have to create something. I was like, no, you don't. Like, you just have to put yourself out there. You just have to put yourself out there, like go, like what you're doing, like you're hustling.
Hustling.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think like if you go out and read any autobiography of any kind of artist or a creative type that ever existed in our world, like you'll see that like they went out there and fucking hustled. Like they got their stuff, and they also did their shitty like artwork on like some wall, or like painted a wall like all blue just so they can make ends meet, so they can go home and create like the amazing sculpture, the amazing painting that they always wanted, that now we hang in awesome museums all over the world. You know, like stuff like that, where like it's like you just have to, it's not paying your dues, but it's also this idea of, I'm sorry, I'm totally going on a different fucking tangent, but like we'll talk about it some other time, but for sure. But like the idea of like being creative and the idea of being a teacher for our community right now is very separated, and I would like it to be some sort of connected, but you know, one feeding the other, sort of something like that. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, best thing about this dance is that we grew into a community that can help each other on and off the dance floor. And if you feel like you know you're not responsible for people off the dance floor, I have to say it. I think you're wrong. You are somewhat responsible for the people around you in general. If you know something is bad, if you know something that you can help with, and they're a dancer, like go for it. Like go and help them. Like I know it's hard. Like we're talking about like how it's hard for us to ask people to dance. Like for sure, it's even harder to like offer help to somebody. But you know what? Like this is part of living in our community nowadays, and I want to encourage people to do that, and hopefully you guys can encourage us, because you can already see that for us it's a hardship as well.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm saying you should go ask people to dance.
I know, exactly. And I will, and you're right, and I'm not going to say no, and I'm going to try. That's why I'm going to, I was just talking to a friend of mine today. At the end of the month, there's Lindy Shock, and I should be back to about 100% with my legs.
I heard that event is amazing.
It is. It's very special. It's very big. Without going into too much detail in general, but like I'm just going, and then like, my friend was like, "Oh, you're teaching there?" And I was like, "Nope." I was like, "Why are you going?" Because like I was like, "I want to dance."
I'm just going. Like, even though I'm such a big deal, I'm not even teaching. I'm just going to go be there. It's like when Kim Kardashian goes to the Grove, not because she needs to go shopping, but because she wants to be seen. I'm like that.
Pretty much. And thank you so much for comparing me to Kim Kardashian. I love that.
But of course.
Oh, I want to be a self-made millionaire.
So glamorous. Well, I mean, I guess she is, but she had a good setup to begin with.
I mean, the sex tape did her wonders for sure, but at the same time, like
she
did something with that, and like fucking, she took a shitstorm and turned it into gold. That's
but it wasn't even that. Like she was already well known from her dad, because the O.J. Simpson trial.
Not really.
Yeah. Well,
I did not. Nobody knew her until before that. But then again, she took a shitstorm and turned it into gold.
Yeah.
Like literally gold. And and her and the rest of her family, like, I know everybody like kind of like shits on them, and like I get it. Whatever, you're famous for not really doing much, but like entrepreneurs, man. If you look further past like the gossip and all this other stuff, and like you see what crazy awesome entrepreneurial like stuff they're doing with their name and stuff they're doing with in general, not all of them, but at least with some of them, they're really fucking doing really well for themselves.
Also, like, let's be real. Even though we all hate the Kardashians, we would all want to be rich like them for no reason. Right? Like, that sounds great to be like, oh, I just ran into millions of dollars and I didn't have to do anything except for take a selfie of my butt. I'll take it.
But I mean, that's the same thing as a model, and yet we praise them and give them TV shows and like look at them and go like, wow,
being a model is hard.
I mean, it's the same, but it's hard in different ways. It's like like, I mean, we're getting into a whole different subject, but like in general, like I feel like they hustle.
They do hustle,
and we think it just comes to them naturally. And I'm like, well, not so much. Like they have a lot of crazy shit. There's like they're giving up a lot of their privacy just so they can like make products basically, or make sponsored ads and stuff. Anyways, point being, Brightside. What's your Brightside?
Oh man, whew. This episode made me feel the feels.
Yeah.
I was ready to have a little breakdown there.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, I don't know.
You never know when we get to this point. I'm like, come on.
I never know. Well, look, Mikey.
I think I'm going to tell you your bright side. Your bright side is that you got your first paying awesome gig with this.
Oh, well, yeah, that's very exciting. And they just texted me while we were recording. But they didn't
tell you like, oh my God, we're so happy you're gonna come.
Yeah, they were like, we're so excited to see you tomorrow. Let us know if you have any questions. And I'm gonna be like, obviously, I have a million of them.
Exactly.
No, I think my bright side is that I don't know. Talking about all this, like, sometimes when we're on here, it's therapeutic for me personally because I say things that I don't expect myself to necessarily say. And like just talking about the jams, I realize like I've been having like a lot of negative feelings about jams recently, but I haven't really been able to pinpoint why. And it's because I just haven't been feeling good about myself. And like when I said out loud like I competed with Carl, but then I like am too scared to ask him to go into the jam with me because I think he's gonna say no. Like when I say it out loud like that, it sounds so stupid.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It sounds like the most ridiculous and crazy thing I've ever said in my life.
Exactly.
But like those feelings were real, you know, and it's all about like understanding my feelings and acknowledging them, but then like moving on to a more pragmatic approach. And just being like, okay, well, like, if you're not, like, he'll probably say yes to me, or he'll probably be like, oh, I'm going to go in with this person, but we could go in too, or, oh, I don't feel like going on the jam, or.
Yeah, or conquering that emotion or conquering that feeling with another feeling of like, okay, which one do I weigh more? Which one means more to me? Yeah. Like, feeling embarrassed to ask somebody to dance, or, like, dancing my heart out, like, that's always going to win for me. And that's what helps me. And like, if I don't think about it and I just go, oh, I just need to dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the act, you know?
Totally.
So yeah,
totally.
For sure. I totally understand you as well. Like we talked about, we commiserated together of being like, can't even ask the partner that we usually dance with to like dance with us.
I know.
Which is such a ridiculous idea. And I know everybody can probably relate to us at some level of going like, yeah, I've actually felt that too. So hopefully we can help you guys out with that. My bright side is that, I mean, you brought it to such a serious thing. I have to go the other way. My bright side is a man named Rafa, who lives out here in Spain and who is just magic. He's giving me massages, and like I'm pretty sure that like he puts my body back together, and then I make it fall apart over the week, and then he puts it back together, and then he makes it fall apart. It's awesome. Massages are so good when you find somebody that it's a really, really good and can like pinpoint and like tell you the ideas and tell you things to like you should do this and tell me what and like give me a call when something happens and then I'll let you know what you need to do. And I'm like, that's so nice. And like, yeah, it's just a really, really good thing. And like he's getting really big out here. Like the other person in the States who's like that is the guy named Benny. Who's like everybody starts to know his name in the past year, and like the same thing here. Rafa's been going out to these events and like just making a name for himself, paying his way to events by doing massages during the weekend and getting fully
it's very
booked.
cool. It's very cool.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It hurts so bad. He beats the crap out of me, and then I pay him for it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I know.
I've been I haven't been getting massages, but I have been making a point to exercise every single day, either to go running or to do yoga or to do like HIIT workouts for 30 minutes. And I've been doing it for like maybe like 2 weeks now, a little over 2 weeks. It makes a huge difference.
Oh, for sure.
In like just the quality of my emotions, you know?
Yeah.
Just really stabilizes you.
Well, a lot of those things, just in general, like the basic understanding of how meditation works, is to focus on the one thing and not let anything kind of come into it. Like even these times that we have here this is our meditation, where even though we're not in the same room, that we can still talk to each other and still communicate with each other on so many different levels.
Oh yeah,
and that's even a form of meditation. So exercise can be like that, and then having routines in general, like a daily routine, can really help you. I was about to get into another tangent with the idea of routines, but I won't. Okay, so we're gonna end this one because we're already a little bit over. Thank you guys for listening. You guys can catch us on our Facebook page and leave comments and questions and awesome things or horrible things, and tell us how weird we are, or commiserate with us about all the little things that we find our insecurities in dance world. And you can listen to us on Apple, and you can listen to us on SoundCloud,
Orange and Banana.
And Google Play Music.
And Grapes.
And visit our oneof6.dance website, where it'll be just directed to the Apple website. But it's funny because you're one of the 6. If you're listening, you're one of the 6 people
John Lennon
listening.
Says, "Strawberry fields forever."
I really thought you were going to say one of 6.
No, because he doesn't have a
he's
song.
A smart man.
He doesn't
He's
have
a
a
smart
song
man.
titled that.
They don't know that.
They might.
Look, I'm not asking you to lie to our listeners, but I'm asking you to lie to our listeners.
Anyone
okay, everybody.
who knows the Beatles, they might.
And also check us out on YouTube. We have our videos. All of them are up there. You guys can listen to them on a playlist or whatever. I mean, if you like listening to our voices, I know we do.
I know. We love ourselves.
I love listening to myself. That's as I've said many times, I do this only for myself.
So
Self-indulgence.
true.
This is my jam. It's a jam off. Ew,
Okie dokie.
So this is us saying goodbye. Bye.
Goodbye. John
Bye.
Lennon says, "Hello, goodbye."